Yes, this is the YD2 ZRTR, piloted by my teammate on Team Nezo's Bat Shop, Hoopty RC. He is driving it right now. He's got the radio in hand. Yes, Mr. Hoopty.
Hey.
What do you think so far?
I'd have to say, out of the box, compared to my SX3, I'd say it's very comparable to, I don't know, like I'd say like a lot of things are very similar, especially like
feel, the angle.
Yeah, just the feel, the angle. It's very easy to drive out of the box, I'd say. Like considering like after all the money I've spent on my car, to be able to drive this and it still feel like good to drive, I'd say they've done a fairly good job. You know, the friction shocks that are in there, you know,
at least they work. They're not the best option, but you're saying they do at least sort of work?
Yeah, like it gives you a feel for the ground. I guess because it's like, it's not as much.
It's a little more springy and boingy, so it's a little more unstable, but it does just kind of work here. I guess, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah. Considering my first RC was, or RC just started with the Sprint 2.
Yeah.
This absolutely smashed it.
Out of the box, oh yeah.
Out of the box. And I spent a fair amount of money upgrading that to drift.
Yeah.
But this is, this, for the price.
So it looks like low to medium angle. It's pretty good. When you go near high angle though, at least from when I drove it, yeah, that sort of happens. The high angle, it's not really optimized out of the box for high angle, and that's fair, because this car was not factory tested or factory tuned, unlike the MST car we also featuring in this shootout. So that's why my team driver is liking this car currently, because it does feel similar to his actual car that he owns, but he is noticing the difference between the friction non-oil filled shocks. However, still, he says it is somewhat easy to drive and you can get used to it. And from my side at least, learning the low medium angle first, you will understand the drift, you'll understand the gyro a little easier, and when you try to go near the high angle, the car will not reward you. You'll either spin out or you'll lose all your speed, so kind of like that. The only other difference that Hoopty noticed after I told him, I said, yeah, check the throttle after you hit full throttle for a second, you'll notice it punch up, kind of like a light boost setting, which I think is somewhat, we can't really control it or set it, but at least we have a bit of a boost. So once Hoopty understood that part, he said, oh, okay, now I can I understand that, I can drive with it. So in certain corners, he will hold the full throttle, he will get the boost punch up, and he will ride the corner out a lot longer, kind of what you're seeing right through the center there. But brings the car back to keep it in medium angle, doesn't let the angle go high. Now Hoopty's a somewhat experienced driver, I would say somewhat, because he has driven for what now, a year at least or so?
Yeah.
Good year or so. So I say somewhat because he comes out here and there, and you know, this hobby is for all the people. You can come out all the time or a little bit of the time, or if you can only get out, you know, once in a blue moon, doesn't matter. So in that 1 year, Hoopty's done a lot of driving. Other than that, in terms of competitions, hasn't done a lot of competitions, but he has driven a lot of different cars that I've owned and tried a lot of different of other people's cars, so that's why I asked him to try this out-of-box YD2. And yeah, he's on my team, so at some point he will enter a competition. And yeah, so I do respect his opinion. He's helped me set up a couple cars. We've done a lot of test driving and testing his own car and stuff. So yeah, he's having a blast with this car.
Really nice.
For $600, it's fun, I'd say. The main difference, once you actually drive the MST car, you'll feel what I feel. It's just a little bit smoother. You can just jam it a little bit harder, and for me, it put a slightly bigger smile on my face than this car. But I do like this body though. I really like this body, whereas I've had the other body on the other car a lot already. So yes, with that, I'll let Hoopty keep bopping that car around. Thank you, Mr. Hoopty, for your words of wisdom. And now I come over here to Mr. Brian. Hello, Brian.
Hello.
So Brian is driving the MST RMX 2.0 RTR. I'm Brian Boy, my buddy Brian Boy is what I call him. What do you think, Mr. Brian?
Well, we're right out of the box.
Out of box, yeah.
It is absolutely a monster.
That's sort of how I felt. It put a really big smile on my face. I mean, the Yokomo put a smile on my face, but this one was bigger.
Yes, I agree. Like, you know me, I have a full-blown done-up chassis, and I'm having just as much fun driving RTR.
$600-ish car compared to your like $3,000 comp car, right?
Right, exactly.
You're having just as much fun.
I'm hitting all the exact same lines I would do. Like, this is a perfect beginner car.
Yeah, and I felt pretty much the same. Like I had a lot of fun, and it does work pretty well. And I think between the two, yeah, this car having oil-filled suspension and the Yokomo not having it, that's a big difference.
Big difference.
I mean, the ESCs, censored versus non-censored, that is a big plus having the censored in the Yokomo.
No boost.
But this car has no boost and no sensor, but because of the shocks, it just feels better, and you're able to extract a little bit more throttle, I think, a tiny bit.
To be honest, I don't think you need the boost for an RTR right out of the box.
And that was a bit of a surprise. So it's like, it's cool that it has it, but we kind of don't need it. But if you can work with it and learn it, it can work all right.
Yeah, I am just driving this casually. Like,
Low to medium angle's good. How's high angle? This car's been out for a while, this RTR version.
Yeah.
The other things I noticed between these two cars, I forgot to put in the comparison, which I'll type out. The YD2 had adjustable links for camber and such, and the MST does not. So
Yeah,
the MST has fixed links, the YD2 has adjustables.
Absolutely no tunability when it drives like this.
Yeah, but both of these cars are straight from the box, zero tunability. The main difference is the MST was factory tuned and tweaked. The Yokomo was not. The MST is the blue car, and the Yokomo is the white car.
I've driven the Yokomo.
You drove the Yokomo earlier as well, and
I have to say, RMX is built a little bit better.
you can jam the Yokomo, you can put the work in and make it go, but it just got to work it a little bit more.
The MST just lets you do it.
And there it is. See how the Yokomo got a little bit unstable there? I blame that on the friction shocks. I don't blame that on the driver. I blame that on the friction shocks. The gyros are set from the factory as well, so yeah, but at least what you're seeing here is two drivers that have been driving Drift RC for some time, and they have no problem piloting the cars around. But the reason why I had them drive the cars around is so they can really put the work into a cars, put the sweat on, really hammer them around, drive them casually, and then really push them to see and extract all the performance that is possible out of the box with approximately $600 Canadian spending. And what you're seeing here, yeah, like both of these guys are having a pretty good time, as we heard. Both have smiles on their faces, and really at this point in the night, it doesn't even matter whose is bigger. They're just having fun, and this is what drift is all about. Literally just chasing your buddy, getting on his door, banging the door, and just sending it. So this is why I want to do this comparison, just so you can really see the differences between these two cars on the market, the subtle differences between them, and what some seasoned drift drivers think about them. There you can see the Yokomo getting slightly out of shape again on the big sweep, but with a little bit of work you can get it right back into the groove. Yeah, so that's where you're seeing the main sort of handling differences, that friction shock, the weight. When it shifts around, it's just a bit unstable, and that's what upsets the car, particularly the rear end. Yeah, but otherwise, no, those guys are having a blast, and for approximately $600 and adding batteries to the cars and the radios, you too can do RC drift. Whether you jump on a polished concrete track like this, I forgot to mention this is polished concrete, whether you jump on a polished concrete like this, or if you go to the parking lot asphalt like we got out there. We'll also do a video hopefully later on doing some parking lot drift, show these cars off as well. And yeah, these cars also have the factory tires that they come with right out of the box. And this is what we got. They're pretty much banging doors side by side, no matter which car's in front. So if you're brand new to drift and this will be your first sort of RC car, or if this is your first drift car, this is what you can get to get in the game. You don't have to spend a ton, and you can learn to drift, learn how to do low medium angles, and then you can slowly upgrade the car. You can slowly change settings and make it the full-blown scale and drift and everything, just like these upgraded versions. And yeah, I'm really glad I did this comparison, just to show off the what's available for RTR currently in drift. I'm actually hoping that Free Racing will do something for the D5, like a D5 RTR. That would be really interesting to see. I would welcome that, and any other manufacturer that can bring an RTR package to market, and then we can really have some more pre-done packages good to go. So literally, I took the Yokomo and the MST out of the box and verified them, and the Yokomo was within, I'd say, 5 to 10 minutes of prep, not even. Just make sure you have batteries, put batteries in the radio, check the car and go, less than 5-10, away you go. I just had to do a little bit of work to the MST, drilling holes in the body, and putting the wheels back on and fixing the gyro double-sided tape mounting. That was maybe 10 to 15 minutes, not even, and away we went. So, yeah. My personal opinion, if I had to choose between these two, based on today's driving and today's quick out-of-box driving, it would be the MST. It would be this car. Because this one put a bigger smile on my face than the Yokomo. I was able to run our gutter, which we're coming back up to, a little dip in our track. I'll show it here. I think the guys are going to try and run it. There's a little gutter back there. I was able to drag the car through. It was kind of hard to see. There it is. There's the gutter. I was able to drag the MST, the blue car, through the gutter a lot more easier than the Yokomo out of the box. I'm very, very sure with tuning on both of these cars, they will become very sweaty and very, very fun and even more agile and precise to drive. That is no doubt. But out of the box, the performance, if I had to choose based on the driving today, my driving, I would go with the MST. If I wanted to buy a car and upgrade it right away based on current parts availability that we have here and what I've seen quite a lot around, I would go with the Yokomo because there is a lot of parts available for the Yokomo. There's also a lot of parts available for the MST, but currently where we are in Canada, we have more access to Yokomo upgrades than we do MST. But yeah, the boys had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun filming this. And look, see, out of the box, you too can do cool drift things with your friends. Doesn't matter which version you get, really, but in my opinion, I would go right now, based on today's driving, I would go with the MST. But if I wanted to upgrade it sort of right away, or if you were here, we have a lot more Yokomo upgrades on hand than the MSTs based on the fact that about 90% of the members that come here run Yokomo YD2s. But a lot of people that do come here, they do usually show up with a MST RMX. Usually they got it brand new, or they found it deal online, or got it from a buddy, and they'll come here and they'll start with that car, and usually they move to Yokomo, or they move to another MST, or just upgrade the MST. A million different ways you can go with these, but I am very happy that there is at least two very good options for RC 110 scale drifting, two-wheel drive drifting, rear wheel. I'm very happy that these two options exist. The MST has been out for the MST RTR has been out for some time, and Yokomo had a version called the YD2 AC, but it really wasn't ready to run. Had no body, had no wheels and tires, and that's just not ready to run. But now they've cleaned up their act. They put a better put a better ESC motor combo in there, and look, it is giving the MST a good amount of competition. Which is good. So this is going to be good for the future and good for people looking to get into drift. And yeah, overall, I'm very happy. If I had to pick today, it would be the MST. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you bought either two of these cars. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're got some questions, curious about a couple things, or anything that you saw in today's video or any of the other videos. And yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think. And yeah, this is the Strictly Sideways Club track. We are in Mississauga, Ontario. You can drop me a line if you want to know where we're located. I can send you the address and you can come check us out. We're usually open Monday to Saturday. So yes, a big thank you to Brian of Team Strictly Sideways driving the MST, and Hoop DRC, who's on my team, Team Nezzle's Bad Shop. Thank you boys for driving those cars. And hope to see you guys on the next video. Maybe we'll do another comparison of kits. Thank you, boys. Thank you very much. See you next time.